The 2025 Formula One season is over. Lando Norris has the title, the confetti's settled, the headlines are written. But if you think we're here to just rehash the 58 laps you saw on TV,
you have come to the wrong place.
you've definitely come to the wrong deep dive.
Yeah, the broadcast gave us the result. We're here for the emotional detonation that the cameras missed. I'm talking about the raw, unfiltered, human cost of winning and losing a world championship.
Exactly. This is the drama that played out in the dark corners of the paddock, the intensity on the pit wall, the hidden moments of friendship, and pure fury.
The narrative was clear, right? Lando Norris, world champion in Abu Dhabi.
But while the main feed was obsessed with the front three cars, the real story was this psychological pressure cooker that was just boiling over behind the scenes. We're diving into that fog of victory right now.
And look, it wasn't just physical endurance that got Norris the title. It was sheer mental fortification. He relied on, so many internal and external aids all year. But for that final race, there's this one tiny detail that just sums up the crippling anxiety. His famous scintilla, that headband he wears.
Right, the headband.
It had a single question written on it.
Lupians.
Do you have it? Wow. That's the ultimate high-stakes question to ask yourself.
And his race engineer, Will Joseph, he had to be this constant psychological anchor for him, just repeating this mantra over and over on the radio.
What was it?
Don't worry, you won't mess it up. Just think about that. Everything you've worked for is on the line, and you need your engineer to basically talk you off a ledge every few corners.
And that pressure, it didn't just disappear when he crossed the line, it erupted. And that force, that raw emotional release was captured in this one iconic, untelevised moment.
The hug from Carlos Sainz.
And what a hug it was. Sainz is not known for being, super affectionate in public. He's usually pretty reserved.
Formal, almost.
Yeah.
But our sources describe this moment with just incredible vividness. It was pure brute force affection. They called it a boa constrictor that sometimes squeezes too much.
Yes. He nearly took Norris clean off his feet. The photographer, Vladimir Riss, who was right there, he literally had to jump back because he thought Lando was going to get knocked over.
It even tilted his helmet back. That's how forceful it was.
And you have to wonder, right? Was that just pure joy for a friend winning, or was there also a bit of strategic relief in there?
Relief that Max didn't get it.
Exactly. Relief that their common rival didn't get the title. That hug had layers.
It absolutely did. And the congratulations didn't stop there. Charles Leclerc was right in there, too.
Yeah, and his interaction with Norris's dad was just great. You saw this real mutual respect. Charles told the father that Lando had been pushing like crazy the whole race.
And the dad who, let's be honest, sources say he looked a bit spaced out, which I think we can translate to enjoying some celebratory beverages.
A few.
He had the perfect comeback. You were too fast, even a little tipsy. The competitive pride is just shining through.
That's a champion's family. But the celebration also gave us one of the most relatable moments of the weekend.
The mystery drink.
Oh, yes.
So Lando's in the pit lane, championship secured, grabs this huge Monster Energy can, takes a massive gulp, and the look on his face is just priceless. He looks startled.
Almost ill, like he just swallowed battery acid.
Yeah. He looks at the camera, then quickly looks away, and you could just read his mind. It's screaming.
This wasn't Monster.
Not at all. Something way stronger was mixed in there. A little championship cocktail.
A hilarious, honest moment. But that celebration also had a deeply uncomfortable side to it.
A reminder of the constant intrusion these drivers face.
For sure. We saw Lando literally have to stop his celebrations because someone with a blinding flash was recording him from what? Less than a foot away?
30 centimeters from his face. And he had to stop everything and just say, please leave.
And this isn't just about Lando's privacy. It's about that friction, that battle between fan access and just basic human space. He deserves a boundary, especially in his biggest professional moment.
Absolutely. Now, before we pivot to the other side of this, the sting of defeat, just a necessary clarification.
This segment is part of our news coverage of recent F1 events.
Okay, so let's make that sharp pivot. Because for every explosion of joy, there's a quiet, painful fallout. And it landed hardest on Lando's teammate, Oscar Piastri.
There is a single image from that celebration that is just. It's a visual metaphor we can't shake.
Poetically unfortunate is what it is.
So the team's celebrating, champagne is flying everywhere, total chaos, and where's Piastri? He's standing a little bit apart, and he's obscured. Someone accidentally hit him with the team whiteboard.
So in the official photo, he's literally pushed into the background, partly hidden behind Zach Brown, and you can just see his hand trying to move the board out of his face.
It's an agonizing, accidental symbol of his whole season, you know? He often felt overshadowed, just slightly out of frame. He was there, he was pushing, but the spotlight was fixed somewhere else.
And that heartbreak, it definitely wasn't just at McLaren. The devastation in the Red Bull camp was palpable, and you could see it all in the face of Max Verstappen's engineer, JP.
That image of JP is going to be iconic. A study in professional tragedy. He was on the pit wall, just crying, inconsolable.
And you have to remember, this wasn't just losing a race. This would have been their 5th world championship together. That's the emotional investment we're talking about.
And it has immediate consequences. The rumors are already flying that JP is looking for an exit, or at least a different role. Losing a title by 2 points, it doesn't just hurt the driver, it can change careers.
And while that weight was heavy, Max himself still found time for a strange, recurring rivalry.
Ah, yes. The small Ferrari pit stop cone.
His arch nemesis all season long.
Fighting for a world championship, battling Norris and Piastri, and he still takes a moment in Abu Dhabi to just drive right over that tiny orange cone.
It's like therapeutic fury, right?
Yeah.
He's raging at the universe, and the cone is his outlet. It's him saying, I will dominate anything in my path.
Even if it's a piece of plastic. But if we want to talk about the true human cost and guilt, we have to talk about the rookie, Kimi Antonelli.
This might be the most revealing moment of the entire weekend.
It really puts that 2-point loss into sharp focus. So Antonelli, right after the race, he asks his engineer, how many points did Max lose by?
And he hears 2 points.
Yeah.
And you can just imagine the guilt hitting him like a ton of bricks.
He immediately tracks down Verstappen in the paddock, finds him, and just starts apologizing. Forgive me, forgive me.
He's talking about those tiny incidents in Spain and Austria, right?
Yeah.
Moments that cost Max those crucial points.
Exactly. It's that painful mama hen and chick dynamic.
Yeah.
The young driver realizing his rookie mistakes had these huge consequences for the champion.
And Max's response was pure class.
So kind. He hugged him, reassured him, no, man, it's all good. Seriously, don't worry. But Antonelli just couldn't shake it. He kept apologizing. It shows you the pressure these young guys carry.
If you're watching this on YouTube, welcome to DRS Zone. Don't forget to subscribe for more F1 content.
All right, let's inject a little bit of lightness back into this before we get to the end of eras. The paddock, for all its drama, is still a place for some bizarre rituals.
And nothing was more bizarre than Fernando Alonso's final act of the season, the champion's blessing.
So during the driver parade, Alonso's sitting next to Antonelli, and he just starts flicking water from his bottle onto the other drivers.
First Piastri, then Norris, and then Verstappen.
It's the ritual of the elder statesman. He's either passing the torch or just cooling down his rivals for next year.
I love it. A memorable, very Alonso moment. And the antics continued with the Secret Santa exchange.
And his gift came from Nico Hülkenberg, who our sources jokingly call almost as old as a tree.
Of course. So Hülkenberg gives Alonso a walking stick, a cane.
And you can just see Alonso looking at it thinking, perfect. Next year, I can use this to whip these youngsters into shape.
The humor around age in that paddock is just relentless.
Speaking of the paddock, we have to talk about the drivers' dinner. 17 drivers were there.
All right, only Alonso, Hülkenberg, and Stroll were missing. And there was a lot of chatter about seating Max and Charles together, the rookies separate.
But one solid, verified fact came out of it that just paints this amazing picture of generosity.
Pierre Gasly paid the entire bill.
The entire thing, for all 17 drivers. In Abu Dhabi, we're talking about an astronomical amount of money.
It just confirms his reputation. He's known in the paddock for being incredibly generous.
A huge gesture of camaraderie after a brutal season. Chapeau to Gasly.
For sure. But while some were building friendships, Abu Dhabi also marked a real end of an era for some giants of the sport.
We saw some really significant, poignant farewells. Peter Sauber departing his team. There was this precious image of him watching that final lap from the pit wall with the fireworks going off.
An incredible career comes to a close. And then the manufacturers. Yuki was leaving, apparently muttering about the devil car.
And Honda leaving Red Bull, but they left with this beautiful, poetic sign-off. A message on the engine.
What did it say?
On the 6th day, we were blessed with the V6. Just a perfect piece of engineering history.
And finally, Renault's farewell as an engine supplier.
And that goodbye was not subtle. It was auditory dynamite.
At the factory, with Colapinto and Gasly there, the engine revving was described as absolutely bestial.
spitting flames from the exhaust. Colapinto was physically covering his ears. It was just this deafening, explosive final roar for that V6 era.
A fitting end. And speaking of the future, which is supposed to be sleek and exciting, the FIA showed off a 3D printed model of the 2026 car.
And it looked ugly.
It looked genuinely terrible. Our source said it looked like it was made of Play-Doh, rough edges, air bubbles.
Yeah, the drivers were just wondering why they didn't even bother to, sand it down or paint it. It's a strange way to promote the high-tech future of your sport.
With what looks like a failed school project, it did not inspire confidence.
Not at all.
But look, regardless of the crude models, the 2025 finale ended in that stark contrast. Smiles and tears, Lando celebrating, JP crying. The emotional stakes hit everyone.
And Abu Dhabi also ended a technical era that has defined racing for years, the end of the DRS system as we know it, and with it, the retirement of the famous Fernando Alonso DRS train.
The station of 2025 has reached its final stop. That tactical masterclass is now history. It's a poignant reminder of how strategy is going to have to evolve.
Which brings us to the big question, right? We just spent this entire deep dive on the intense, unpredictable human drama that happened off track.
The apologies, the guilt, the celebrations, the fury.
So, given all of that, will the 2026 season with its new cars, its Play-Doh model, the end of the DRS train, will it be able to deliver as much unpredictable, compelling entertainment on the track as 2025 delivered in the paddock?
That is the unpredictable challenge facing Formula One right now.
A lot of pressure on the engineers and the drivers for 2026.
Absolutely. That's all the time we have for this deep dive into the unseen Abu Dhabi finale. Don't forget to follow the DRS Zone on TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube for all our content. Catch you next time.